Hey there, I'm Demitri with the Demitri team, and I'm reaching out to all of my sellers out there. I thought we should talk about a few things. So, first, do you really need to sell? Do you want to sell your house? That's kind of one of the first questions I'm going to tell you need to explore. One of those things is when you do sell your house, where are you going? If you have to get a mortgage, can you qualify for a mortgage? So, you got to look at those things before we actually get your house sold. The next thing is, what's happening to the market at large. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about what history that we have in the market that might be able to give us a hint at what the future is. And we're going to look at what challenges that the potential buyers that are coming to look at your property are going to have to be able to buy it. We're going to look at what the competition is in your neighborhood, like how we're going to discern that and where that affects it. And then we're going to look at, are you at risk in getting your house sold and getting the most equity out of your house by taking too long? In other words, should you get it sold today? Or, hey, if you took your time and got it sold over the next 2, 3, 4 months, is there going to be any significant change or difference in that? All right, let's get started here. All right, so let's talk about affordability. First off, affordability certainly is a concert. It's between what you want to sell your house for what the interest rate is, and what people's income are. So as long as those things are in concert, we have affordability, and you can see over time we've had some affordability. We had a couple times it dipped. So this zero line is anything above is affordable, anything below is not. You can see 2021 we started here being very unaffordable. Just the pandemic kind of killed us there. All right, home values. Home values over the time, they typically go up 3% a year. And you can see kind of this graph we started off over the years. You can see it's slowly coming up. We did have this quick jump here. Look, 2008 would have been here. There were some things that went on. Prices of house went up. This jump right here kind of looks like this jump of where we are now. Now, we talked about what can history give us a hint for? Well, if we jumped up, what do? We fall down. So good likelihood is that, 2 years from now, I'm going to be showing you this slide, and this part right here is going to be, domed over just like this one is. All right. Over the past 5 years, houses, like I said, have jumped. We started it from affordability or from an average price 449, jumped 473, jumped 501. Okay, each of those years, little significant jumps like that 3% that I talked about. Then all of a sudden, pandemic hits, people with cash, great northern migration, people up north with big boatloads of cash coming down, not giving any concern to anything because they had cash, they wanted it, they needed to move. It really just didn't matter. Get me out, I want to buy a house. Well, that drove the prices significantly up. Look, we had a $106,000 jump the first year. Following right into 2022, another 100+ thousand jump, 733. So think about it. 2018, your house was 449. 2022, 733. What an unrealistic jump into the price of the house. All right, let's come into here. Annual prices of houses. Now, this is what we were just talking about was Florida only. This is national. So if you kind of look annual prices of houses, this little curve right here is kind of the normal 3% coming up. Nationally, we come up, and we should be in the 343 nationally, but we're at 395. Again, a big significant jump. Obviously, Florida's a little bit greater jump in that, but we would have the same sort of, if I put this kind of chart just for Florida, you'd see the same sort of thing, just a bigger gap. Again, kind of want to call attention to 2008. We went up preceding 2008, and then we dropped, and it took a few years from 8. So look, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 years before it really started coming back. So wherever you are now, just think about once we hit the bottom, which is probably 2 years away, we are going to take another 4 to get back up to where you are. Probably don't want to wait. All right, next thing we're going to talk about. If we look at interest rates over time, really we should be at 6%. The problem is that the Fed didn't do what they did now as what they did leading up. Here we are. You can see the Fed was slowly dropping rates, stimulate economy, get the 2008 housing market back into gear, get that all done. They dropped it a little bit. Suddenly we come down, and now they want to jump You know, we were up here at 5.9 when we started all this stuff. And then they get it down, get us all excited, and then they jump it up to 6%. That just kills the market right now. Everybody doesn't know. Actually, I'm calling it, it puts us in the Twilight Zone because nobody knows what to do. Had they taken us on a little bit better curve going up, we probably wouldn't be hurting so bad. All right, your buyer that came to your house just, gosh, 3 months ago. Now I put this 13 months because that's just when that, I know it was exactly 3%. But you know, it fluctuated up and down 3 to 2, you know, high twos, low threes, multiple months in a row. So 3, 4, 5 months ago, 5 months at most, you could get something close in that 3, maybe even under 3, depending on your credit. But if you had a $2,500 budget, you could qualify for a $610,000 house. Well, that same buyer coming to your house today, same budget, 6% can only go 429. Well, that's $181,000 less. Now I realize we had a whole lot of cash buyers. It didn't seem mortgages were going to matter, but they are mattering, especially if your house is selling in the lower range. You know, if you're 900 and above, that probably is more of a cash buy. If you're below that, people are looking at mortgages, especially since people with cash are holding on, going, wait a minute, what's going to happen? I don't want to be upside down in this house if I buy it. I want to wait and see what's going to happen. All right, so that's what I'm calling our Twilight Zone, and that is you got to consider that people are not sure. You as a seller, you probably, because of the history, you saw what your neighbor got, you want a lot of money, which is probably more than where we truly should be right now in the market. The second part is the buyer is looking at it going, hey, I can't afford that. I can't get the money, so it's got to come down less. They're offering less, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 less than what they're seeing advertised. The next piece is this. If I were to say this, well, your house should be at a lower price, but because we're still in that twilight part, meaning that buyers have been used to the higher prices, if we look in your neighborhood, and this is a typical Waxahachie neighborhood, top part of this graph has to be what's on the market in that neighborhood. I took a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in the 1,500 square foot range. Said, okay, all of those houses, if they were equal, what are they selling for? They're starting at $499, they're going up to $629. Those same houses, just a year ago, those exact same houses were selling in the 300s to maybe 440. So significant difference. That $180,000 that I told you right here, you can see you're probably there. Now, we're not down to this point yet. We should be at this because that's where our finances and all the costs are, and we are definitely going to get back to this. But you have a moment in time to take advantage of twilight. And what is twilight? Well, that is where the people who are looking to buy a house right now, because of what's on the market, they're forced to pay more anyway. They are digging deeper into their savings to do this. They're coming up, taking a second job, finding additional income, whatever they're doing, they're able to do it. Now, they're not necessarily paying these listed prices. They may be offering $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 less, but you can get your house sold. So now is the time if you're going to do it. Let's recap really quick. The price of your house is going to drop. You better figure you're going to drop $180,000 over time. That's probably 6 to 12 months from now, but you're going to drop significantly. Cash buyers are still looking to buy. We're not at the price at the bottom of the market yet because, like I said, we're in that twilight zone. Interest rates are likely to get higher. We're probably going to see them at 8. They're probably going to stabilize around 6, 6.5. I just see that as being kind of where we're going to stick. You need to decide whether you really need to sell, want to sell, have to sell, whatever. That, you know, if you're going to do that, now's the time. Don't wait. Hold on. Let's get it done. But more importantly, where are you going? You better make sure you got that taken care of, that you're not stuck like the buyer buying your house, getting your next place. So get that part figured out. I'm going to throw this out. If you're tired of calls, you know, I know when your house isn't listed and all, you get a ton of calls from realtors. You're tired of calls. You don't really necessarily want to sell. You want to get a top dollar. If you got that, you would take it. But if you didn't, hey, I'll just hang on to the house. Well, we could put your house back on the market, put it at the top dollar. Doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to come look at it. But more importantly, you won't get any more calls from realtors because it's back on the market. All right. Last thing, your window to sell and capture as much equity is right now. Do it now. All right. Give us a call. Let's work with you. Text us back, whatever it is. Let's get together. Let's get your house on the market if this is going to work for you. And if it's not, at least now you have strong information to have a conversation to make decisions from. Hope you have an awesome day. We look forward to hearing from you.